was the drive up?
Good.
Was it? I was super excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm sorry for being antisocial.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
making
you're
things
totally fine, totally fine. I know you got stuff to do.
Yeah. And like, you know, you're pulling the heart out, and it's like, it's just very. I'm sorry, but like, maybe I have to cause restraint. I'm like, I don't really do it. Yeah.
So the first thing I didn't learn in music school was how to use technology. Let's see. There we go.
Hi, I'm GARDNSOUND. Today we're going to evaluate chromatic. Did you know there are 12 steps in the diatonic scale? We refer to these as semitones. There are also 12 steps in my alcohol use program. There are also 12 steps in my house. When all of these pitches are played in sequence, it's called a chromatic scale. It sounds like this. It sounds like this.
There you go. So I'm a YouTuber. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. I produce all kinds of content. But just a couple warnings before we get going. Some of my videos do contain a teeny bit of not safe for work language, but it's nothing you wouldn't hear on TV, and I will not be expanding your vocabulary from what you probably already say at the dorm room. There's going to be some really goofy content. I'm a cursed, awkward person. So if anything happens that you're like, it's a bit cringy, just laugh. It's okay. It's been happening for 28 years, and I can take it again. It's okay. There's gonna be some stories about alcohol abuse in here, but don't worry, there is a positive ending. So if you're triggered by that at all, it ends great. I'm fine. See, and I'm streaming. So hello to all of my smoochers. That's what we call ourselves. I can answer why that means later. So there you go. That's all the warnings. So who am I? I'm a content producer, composer, audio engineer, internet enthusiast, bird owner from Atlanta, Georgia. When I say I'm an internet enthusiast, I mean I only consume the spiciest, dankest memes, normally in the form of technology or audio production. If you understand that one, you're right there. You're just as sad and lonely as me. So there you go. And this is my bird, Lila, and she's an Amazon parrot, but she's actually kind of big, and she just looks small because my head is enormous. So there you go. What am I here to do today? What's about to happen? I'm going to talk to you a bit. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of stuff, and some stuff that's been on my heart, some things I want to make sure are talked about in an academic setting. I'm going to do some videos. I'm going to show you some YouTube content. We're going to do some point making. I'm going to make some points. All right, you'll know I'm making a huge point because I'm going to do this. So if you see me doing this, wake up, because that means I'm making a point. There's going to be some crying. No. There's going to be a lot of laughing, so there's going to be a lot of that. And there's going to be some Q&A at the very end if we have time, but I'm going to do my best to get through this because I know you all have class at 1:30. Good Lord, don't need to stress you out any more than you already are. So what are we talking about today? The number one thing that I hope you take away from this presentation, if you have to take away one thing from this presentation, if you have to take away one thing from this presentation, it's that you need to start talking with everybody that you interact with in terms of music about money. You need to start talking about how to make money. This is the number one thing I did not learn in music school. I learned chromatic scales, I learned octatonic scales, I learned man-made scales, I learned all the modes, all the modal scales and different things, and how to do all the different trads and versions, yada, yada, yada. But I never learned one thing about how to make money. Why? You gotta pay the bills. Like, I understand it. There's two things that artists don't want to talk about, and I'm using art with the capital A, the fine arts, everybody in the arts, the visual artists, the dancers, the drama, everything. There's two things artists don't want to talk about. The 50%, no matter how big your sample size is, are going to say they don't want to talk about money. This is a trick question because the other 50% are also going to say money. But it's blue because they're artists and they want to be different, so. Yeah, money. Nobody wants to talk about money, but classical musicians especially really need to talk about money because our money's going away. And it's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact. Over the last years, the number of concert attendees, the number of orchestras themselves have been lessening, decreasing. The classical audience, the classical concert attending audience is aging. This is the biggest reason why this is happening, because all of the money is now here. And we're going to be coming back to this later, but this is really important. On-demand streams, what does that mean? We'll come back to that. But if you look at the piece of the pie that classical music has, and this is 2016, by the way, this is not old data. This is the most current data. If you look at the piece of the pie that classical music has, it is minuscule when you compare it to all the different forms of pop. It's literally 1%. So, and you're probably thinking right now, why are you yelling at me? I don't understand why this guy's here to tell me I'm wrong. I'm here to tell you, you are not wrong. You're not wrong for wanting to play music. You're not wrong for being here. You're not wasting your time. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not wrong for being a creative person. The world will tell you that you are wrong for being creative. They will tell you that you need to get in line, you need to fit in, you need to go, you need to sit at a desk, you need to make money, and you need to have a wife, get married, and have kids. You're not wrong for not really wanting that lifestyle. You're not really wrong for wanting that lifestyle. Maybe some of you want that, it's fine. You know, you're not wrong. And if you take that away from this presentation, that's the second most important thing I want you to learn. The first thing is to talk about money. The second thing is there's nothing inherently wrong with you. You're creative. It's okay. The other thing I want to tell you is that I am one of you. I'm a graduate. I'm a creative person. I am plagued with the need to create things, the need to write music. It's everywhere in my life. It's a constant. It's ruled my life at times. It has frustrated me at times. It's been joyful at times. I'm one of you. So yeah, don't take this presentation as me telling you that you're wrong. I'm not attacking anybody here. That's me at governor school in 2007. I don't know who took that photo, but thanks. Having a good time. I also don't know who took this photo, but that's also me to go to school. That is a brilliant photo. I mean, literally don't know who took it. I tried to have this removed from social media several times. It just keeps popping up. So at this point, I'm leaning into it going, that's me. I'm eating a banana. Bananas and peanut butter. I ate a banana in the courtyard earlier. Still eating bananas. This is my concertado. These are the people that I was privileged enough to share time with. You'll notice, some of you might know some of these people. This is Christine Caruta. She's now running a crowdfunded orchestra in New York called Little Caruta. She does YouTube with Adam and Neely. She's killing it. I don't know how she does that and pays rent. This is me. This over here is Calvin Dugan. He's a freelance musician in Denver, Colorado. And this little guy up here is Austin Gaborio, who's about half my height, and plays the same instrument I do. We both play the upright bass. He's now the adjunct professor of bass at Newberry College, and is this close to being Dr. Gaborio. Here's a Cinderella story for you. He didn't know how to play the bass when he came to school here. And know what he's doing. He didn't know how to play the upright bass. He knew how to play electric bass. And now he is almost Dr. Gaborio, professor of bass. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's keep going here. Here's a relative timeline of things that happened to me after I graduated, just for your information. I graduated in 2007. I attended University of South Carolina, Columbia for composition, which is the black sheep of the music family. It was a good time. Could have done theory, could have done performance. In fact, composition is a combination of both of those. I ended up doing both of those degree requirements, but getting a piece of paper saying you're a composer in modern times. Great, good job. And then I moved to Charleston. That was fun. And I worked at Blackbaud in customer support. Don't ever work in customer support. And also don't go to a different company and work for their customer support. And really don't go back to the old company and do customer support again. Don't do this. I did it, you don't have to, okay? Then I moved, let's see here, where are we? Losing sight of things. Moved to Atlanta. That was awesome, I still live there. I love Atlanta, it's a great place for music, great place for modern music. Killing it. 365, this is the big thing we're gonna talk about. We're gonna get to that. What is that? We'll get to that later. Okay, now I'm a chef. That's my mode of employment. You'll notice here, there's a brief period of about 5 months-ish, not to scale, where I was unemployed, and that was fun. Did some things there. And present day is now approximately 10 years. We need to talk about two things. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to feed yourself creatively while doing things that are not musical. So I was in bands. That was my solution. Because I got out of Governor School and I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to sell CDs. And we're going to go on tour. And it's going to be a lot of drinking and drugs and shows and lights, and it's going to be great. And that really just led to alcohol abuse. And I didn't. So that's what happened. Don't worry, I got sober, and I've been sober now for 2.5 years, and it was one of the best decisions of my life, right behind marrying my wife, Caroline, who is also a Gubby. So sobriety, yeah, it's great. Let's talk about this. Why did I do this? I hated doing this. Why did I do it? The answer was I needed a lot of money for booze. And the thing about drinking is it's expensive. I promise I won't dwell on this too long. But we as artists are, I believe, more susceptible to substance abuse than other people who are not as creative. And I think that's because we are viscerally in touch with our emotions. We're in touch with our emotional side. I've had to come to deal with that myself. You can't just act out in public, yada yada. You can't, drink in public. It's a tiring thing to be as in touch with your emotions as some of us are, and sometimes we act out. And so that's, you got anxiety, you got depression, you got all these things that can lead to substance abuse, but don't seek that because it doesn't go anywhere. Trust me and take it from me. I've done it for you. Don't do it. There's me drinking and my drinking days, and I look way different. This is not that. It's my sister. The vibrant, lovely lady. That's not me. This was right after a race where I basically trudged through it after a night of drinking. And this is me not a day later, I'd say a year and a day later, after being sober for a while. And you can tell the difference in my face. You can also tell the difference in my smile. Look at that smile, it's a forced smile. This is my genuine smile right here, having a good time. And even further, this is me 3 weeks ago at Austin City Limits with my wife, being a real goober. This is genuine goober gardener. This is me. That's how I am. So I am when I'm in my happy place. And then this is me at Austin City Limits meeting a fan, which was one of the best experiences of my life and changed my life. It's the first time I've ever met a fan of what I do that I was not expecting to see or meet up with. That was huge. This is JT. He's a really cool guy. He does a lot of remixes of Gorillaz. So we got to share the concert together. Super cool. All right, let's keep going here. Money. I worked for money. Say this with me. Say it with me. Repeat after me. I work for money.
I work for money.
Good. We work for money.
We work for money.
Grab your pickets. Let's go. I'm kidding. But sort of. The point I'm trying to make here is that everyone works for money. Everybody works for money. There's nothing wrong with working for money because you need to pay the bills. What you do for work is the difference, right? Work, that big nebulous term. What is work? I'm not saying job, I'm saying work. Putting in effort at something. Whether it's practicing your instrument and then playing in an orchestra, that is work. It is work. You might really enjoy that line of work. You might enjoy that. It might be preferable to washing dishes. But both of those are valid forms of work, and the outcome, the result of work is a paycheck. That's okay. Become comfortable with that as an idea. There's nothing wrong with making money. You need money. Money pays the bills.
Money pays the bills.
Art does not.
Art does not.
Some of you held back on that, it's okay. Because when I made this slide, because it's 2017, I was real proud of myself, so I put it on Instagram. And immediately, my friend James from Colorado was like, at GARDNSOUND, my physical art literally paid for studio rent for August, September, and half of October. That's great. It is. If you're in a privately held studio, in an artistic space, you've got a patron who runs the studio, and he agrees to trade you, that's fine. And it's valid. So there is an exception to that rule, but I would love to see James call up Verizon and pay for his bill with visual art. That's all I'm saying here. Money pays the bills, exposure does not.
Money pays the bills.
That's right, exposure does not pay your bills. Exposure bucks, what is this? This is a trend lately that I've been noticing, and I kind of wanted to go in on it, so I tried to pay a bill recently with exposure. Bleeped out the names and stuff.
My name is Gardner. Can you hear me okay? Perfect, just making sure. Listen, I am going through a period of financial hardship, and I have a medical bill in front of me, and I'm wondering, because I'm an artist, like I'm a musician, can I pay this with exposure? But lately I've been offered a lot of exposure for my work, and so I'm trying to make a joke at it. Anyway, but on a more serious note, can I pay this in installments with like real money, USD? Absolutely.
See how quickly she was able to help me after I offered real money. That's my point here. It's not to offend. It's just to get you going and make you realize that no, you can't pay your bills with art, but you can pay your bills with sales from art, which is work for money. Money, though, all right, this is big. Repeat this after me. Money does not feed the soul.
Money does not feed the soul.
Art does.
Art does.
Boom. Very important distinction here. Art might not be able to pay your bills on its own, but it does feed your soul. So you need to continue to make art. This is me again. This is right above the cafeteria. This is the first time I have a picture of myself where I'm going, yeah, I'm gonna make music. Can you see it? What?
Yeah.
Those headphones, I don't know if I ever gave those back to the library. So, anyway, let's keep going. I, over the years, continued to feed my soul by writing music. This is my first album that came out in 2009, 2014, in between there, I drank too much. Then I put out a 3-part album in 2016, and I put out this side project called Space Station Zeta, which is progressive rock, and I'm admitting to it now, guys. I'll admit to it as my streamers. Yes, I am Dope Rose. So there you go. There's Dope Roads, another side project, kind of popular in vaporwave circles. That's me. And then we've got a couple other singles that I put out, and all these are great, you know, in terms of my artistic feeding my soul. But none of these really sold well. None of these really sold well, and I couldn't figure out why. It was driving me nuts. And I thought in my head, you know what's not selling well? Nobody's taking me seriously. Nobody's taking me seriously. That's got to be it. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna write a song every day. Oh, sorry, this is coming soon, by the way. Little plug. Check it out. I'm putting out a rap EP under my rap alias Whitey McWhiterson. And for those of you who are like, this guy can't put out a rap EP, watch me. I'm gonna do it. I've already got the artwork. I can't turn back now. I already paid for it. Yeah, I already said I'm doing it. All right. So anyway, then I went on tour, tried to feed myself that way. I said maybe I'll make some money. Ooh man, 2016 Gardner was ripped. Oh, that was great. I missed that. Shoot. I went on tour with this band called Pray for Triangle Zero, which is Lucas Sams. He does a lot of vaporwave art. That's him becoming inspired by me cooking something. I don't know what I'm doing there. And yeah, that was great. No, it was great, and I got $50 out of it. That was the total net profit, $50. I said, people aren't taking me seriously. And I went to all those. I toured the entire East Coast, basically. But here's the thing. Although the majority of revenue, this is again the same graph from Nielsen. If you don't know who Nielsen is, they're the ratings company. When you hear somebody in broadcast talk about what were the ratings, they're talking about Nielsen. Back in the day, they used to have a box they'd actually attach to your TV. You'd be a Nielsen family. It was like a cool thing, I guess. But nowadays, they just monitor your internet traffic because everything's on the internet. So, although this is the majority of revenue still, that thing I just covered up, sorry. Although this is the majority of revenue still, not for long. I'm going to close down these two old forms of making money with music. And I want you to focus on this because over the last 3 years, on-demand streams have skyrocketed. They've really, on-demand streams have skyrocketed. This is the new way of making money. It's YouTube, it's SoundCloud, it's Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. Anywhere you can listen to tunes and also hear an advertisement. They serve you an advertisement. The advertisement pays whomever the host is money. And then they give a very tiny microfraction, should be more, frankly, to the artist. All right, in exchange for that, in exchange for serving you an advertisement. So I said, I'm gonna look at this harder. YouTube, I got it, I'm gonna do YouTube. And so therefore, I started to release a song every single day for a year. I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna release a song every day for a year. Whoa, it was nuts. And we're gonna come back to like, let that sink in. I'm gonna harp on it in a minute. I'll let this guy explain what that means.
Hey there, my name is Gardner. What I'm going to be doing over the course of the next year is uploading a music video every day. You're going to see video footage from the past 24 hours every time you watch one of my videos. And the footage from the past 24 hours influences the music that comes out, okay? So what happens in daily life influences what I hear.
Oh my God, that's all I can take of that. So that's the first video I did. It's not good. It's not good. I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. Okay. What I did was I released a song every day for a year, and I put them on YouTube, and I made them available for people to use under Creative Commons 3. You can download the song, you can use it whatever you want to do with it, as long as you give me attribution. I made it available on my website for purchase if people wanted to support the show. I started a Patreon page. I started to build a following. It was great. I also got much better at being in front of the camera. And much better at scripting and much better at editing, frankly, than I am here. So I'd like to stop this video. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. But here's some numbers from 365. And let me harp on this again. Every day, guys. Every day, whether I'm sick. There's no advance. There's no uploading in advance. That's not authentic. I wanted this to be a large art piece. I wanted to have to write a piece of music every day. I wanted that to be the art. Whether I'm sick, whether I don't feel like it, whether I'm depressed, whether I'm tired, something. I can't really think of an excuse because the point was there would not be an excuse large enough to prevent me from completing this feat. And that's, for those of you who know me, that's so me. I love a challenge. Like the best dose of medicine to get stuff done for me is 100 milligrams of Bet You Can. That'll get me to do anything. And so this is it. Final yield, 365 songs written in 365 days. If you played every piece of music that I wrote in that year back to back, it would take you 1 day, 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 38 seconds to listen to all of it. It would take you 98,258 seconds, or 1,637.633 minutes, or about 47 rounds of PUBG, for those of you who play video games. Effort. This is the average amount of daily effort. Sometimes it was more, sometimes it was less. 2 hours of recording and filming. Turn the microphone on. Oh. Dude, nothing is worse than putting 2 hours behind the camera and then going to press play on your footage and the microphone wasn't on. Then you have to do it again and it looks rushed and you're mad. Anyway, sometimes it's 4 hours. 3 hours of editing, mixing, and mastering. 1 hour, because I'm writing a song. It's not just a video, it's a video and a song. Every day. 1 hour of uploading, this is what it's done to me. 1 hour of uploading, tagging, and posting for a subtotal of an average of 6 hours per day, sometimes more. So your average total of 2,190 hours. Total YouTube AdSense income, 0. Total income from Patreon, $355.21. We'll talk about Patreon. Total income from music sales. This is digital and physical via my website. $503.50. Total gifts, donations from very, very generous parents, people, $100. And a total of $958, or an average of 43 cents per hour, which is also the minimum wage in Afghanistan. It is, I looked it up. You can look it up too, it's Wikipedia, come on. So, I didn't do it for the money. I sure did. I did it because I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted to show how serious I am. I wanted to say, guys, I'm a super serious musician. Look how serious I am about music. I'm gonna write a song every day, and they're gonna be great. Most of them weren't. There were a couple of good ideas, I say now, but most of the ideas were crap. And they were rushed, but I still hold to that you should look at it as a whole art piece. If I was an artist, a visual artist, I would say the piece is the entire gallery, is what I'm saying about this. So, yeah.
Hey, future gardener.
It's not fast, Gardner.
Listen, you promised Katie and Jennifer that you would talk about practicing and the beauty of practicing and the importance of disciplined practice and how much that led to your success with 365 and how much all of that practice you put in over the course of the year, mixing, mastering, producing, etc., getting better at film, has helped you in your journey. Good luck with the rest of your presentation.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
See you. All right. So yeah, let's talk about practicing. Let's talk about the importance of disciplined practice. All of this work that I didn't even think about this when I started, by the way. It was just all ego. It was pure ego. I was like, do this 365 songs, here we go. Didn't think about it. Got about halfway through the year, and I listened to one of my first songs, and I was horrified. I put this on the internet? This is awful. This led to improvement, big time. And I can look at you with a straight face and say, I'm a much better composer than I was a year ago. Much better composer than I was a year ago. I look at pieces I wrote back in college and I cringe, and I look at things I write now and I was like, that's pretty good. I've gotten very picky. I take a longer time with things. I spit more when I talk, apparently. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it led to improvement. And I want to show you a very good actual case study where you can say it objectively sounds better. This is an interesting thing that happened. This is unique to my situation. I have a song called Dr. Smooth, okay? This is what it sounded like when I first wrote it, the first recording of Dr. Smooth, which was back in 2016, before I had a year of practicing recording, mixing, and mastering every day under my belt. Here's what it sounds like. Please load. Skip ahead a little bit to the guitar part. This is my favorite part. Tall guys can't dance. All right. Cool. So a year later, I redid the entire thing with my new skills, and here's what that sounds like. Already sounds better. Stereo widened, mixed, compressed, mastered. And objectively sounds crispier. There's something to it. Easier to hear all the parts. Wait till the bass comes in. muffled, muddy. It's no good. I don't know why people bought that. I'm kidding. My subscribers. All right. So back to the. Hold on a second. Back to here. So there you go. I did improve. Practicing is very important. And I couldn't have done any of this. I couldn't have done the whole thing without the discipline that comes from years of practicing. The discipline that goes into getting your instrument out, whether you don't feel good, whether you're sick, whether you're yada. I mean, if you're in bed, you're in bed. You know, you can't play your bass in bed. But I can. But I did it one time. It was great. You gotta have discipline. This doesn't work if you're not disciplined. And practice takes discipline. So there you go. Discipline. I learned that in music school. That's the opposite of this talk. Ooh, counterpoint. Yeah. I learned discipline in music school. I learned how to practice in music school. That's why you're not wasting your time. You're here to learn how to practice, how to improve, how to be disciplined. All right. Other fun and related stuff. I wrote music on drugs. Not the fun stuff. It was actually me after getting my wisdom teeth taken out, because that happened during the year for just no other reason than, of course it did. So you probably want to see that, so here you go.
Sound 9:48. They did not lie.
That's my wife.
45 minutes. I'm gonna go pull around and go burn and see how we did.
I wrote a song like that. Holding it together, kind of. So hold on a second. Let's skip ahead just a little bit. I don't want to keep y'all too. Here we go.
To this new challenge. Hashtag made that up. Hi everybody. I'm back in the studio and I don't know why this is for. Yeah, I know. I have this like vision of triangles that are everywhere. I want to write something that sounds like a triangle.
So incoherently ramble through producing a song on heavy anesthesia, and that's what this project led to. It led to some really interesting environments and some really interesting settings for writing music that I never would have done on a normal day. You're never doing that, you know? The day you get your wisdom teeth out, you stay in bed. But since I had set the parameter of I'm going to intend on writing music every day, I had to do it. It wasn't a choice. Yeah. I'm going on tour. I saw the West Coast for the first time. This is me following somebody around with my camera via YouTube. They said, hey, I love your show. Come follow me around. We'll pay for you. I said, no way. Paid my expenses. Went all over the West Coast. I've never been to California. It's gorgeous. I want to move there now. I clocked some things off my bucket list. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Salt Lake City Temple, but I did because of this project. And I'm not a Mormon, but they've got great architecture. That was amazing. It was one of those things. And by the way, this is a bucket list thing for me, talking to y'all. So y'all are witnessing something big in my life right now. I quit my job. I quit working corporate support desk. I quit that. You probably want to see the part where I quit that. So here's that. Because I had to film an episode that day.
Oh, the GARDNSOUND 365 the show. I kill myself. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on my last day of work with the laptop. At the software company I work for. This is my last day of doing like actual client work instead.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to where I'm really losing it. I decided to turn the camera on every time I lost it.
I think it's gonna crash. I just did this in another system. Every other system I've ever worked with must be validated. It's a fucking database. This database, this is the whole database I
There you go. I really lost it. So, I made a whole episode about that, and that was great. I probably won't be able to work there again, but that's not the point. The point is I made a song every day, and I had to write a song that day, and I did. It was funk, and it was music therapy to relieve my stress, and it was music for the soul that I needed. I did performing, I did airplanes, I wrote a song on an airplane. I did cool things like collaborations with other artists, sponsorships. People contacted me, software companies. They're like, hey, will you write a song with our software? Sure, I'll do it. New gear, whatever, new synthesizer. I got it. Bring it on. At this point in time, I've written over 200 songs that I can show these companies and say, look at that. You like that? I can do that for you. And fan art. This is one of the coolest parts, and this is what I want to talk about now. That's me. I didn't pay anybody to do this. I mean, I wouldn't, but I didn't. Look at that. That's me every day. I have a lot of coffee right now. And I got a reputation on my show for being a bit of a salt, being a bit of a grump at the way things are going with current music industry trends. And so they like to make fun of me. They call me Garden Salt instead of Garden Sound. And this is my hair is my best feature. It's they're taking rips at me, but but look, they spent time. Normal people, water, garden sound, salt. Like it's this community, it's this interaction. They think my head looks like a Tic Tac, apparently. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's my background on my desktop. I love that. This one right here, I like birds. They turned me into a bird. That's creepy. And then there's this beautiful thing. That's hard to look at. So here's the thing. I wanted to get my music out there and be taken seriously, but I accidentally built a community. Hey guys. Hey. I accidentally built a community. That's what you have to do now with music. Because people want to watch people do stuff. When I started this, I had 70 subscribers. And over the course of a year, 3695. That was as of yesterday. I checked today, it's almost over 3,800 right now. So I've gained almost 100 something overnight. I don't know what's happened, but I'm growing. It starts slow. People start to click the subscribe button. And then it just keeps coming. They leave you comments and you interact with them. And it's community because we don't, as a society, have much of community anymore. We're increasingly behind our devices. I'm not saying anybody in here is wrong. I have a phone, I have a laptop, I have a computer, I have an iPad, I have a TV. I'm constantly looking at a lit up rectangle. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, we can use that to get our community back. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I did actually, is I started this community. YouTube is amazing at that. I'm not here to preach YouTube, I'm not Casey Neistat, it's got its problems. But there's something going on here. There's something cool going on with YouTube that's worth looking at, but it's not all good. Because with any community of positive support, there are people who are going to hate what you're doing, and they're going to make fun of your head. They're going to make fun of your haircut. They're going to make fun of your earrings. They're going to call you gay when you're not. And they're going to call you straight when you're gay. And they're going to tell you to stop doing things that you like. And they're going to tell you that it's not normal. Don't do these things. You're not cool. You're ugly. I don't like it. I'm hurting inside. That's what I hear now when people hate me, is I hear, I'm hurting inside. I want to just hug them. I'm not going to name any of my haters. I'm not going to name any of the comments. I don't do that. Some people do that. I don't. Haters are the worst part of this, but they're also a necessary evil because no matter how good it is, no matter how good your performance is, someone will always hate you. Not it, you. It's not about it. It's not about the art. They're attacking you. Someone will always hate you. So if you keep that in mind and know that, there really isn't anything to fear left, right? Is there? It's not, you're not going to be able to ever do anything that everyone's going to like. It's impossible. It's impossible, because someone's always going to hate you. It makes me emotional. That's the other thing I didn't learn in music school, how to handle my emotions. I learned how to tap into them. I learned how to perform with them. I learned how to utilize my emotions. I learned how to utilize. I learned how to I learned how to deal with this outside of music school. And it's something that I think people need to deal with at a younger age than what I did. Because I wish I could have skipped the whole trying to deal with it through drinking part of my life. That was 5 years gone. I mean, it wasn't a total waste. I gained some software knowledge working at a software company, but I wish I could skip it. How do you deal with emotions? What do you do? What do you do with all the anger? To quote Mr. Rogers, what do you do with all your mad? What do you do with all your sad? For me, it's mad. Anger. Anger is my big emotion. I get super, super angry. It's not healthy. It's not good. But I'm getting better at dealing with it. And it really comes from a lack of being able to fit in. See what I did there? See what I did there? This is my next big point. When you put art out, do not be so aloof to assume that everyone's going to get it, because no one's going to get it at first. You've got to point it out, and you've got to be unashamed of pointing it out. Don't be ashamed of pointing it out. You work so hard on it. You work so hard on your art, you got to show, look what I did. Look at it. It's me. Ha. You know, you've got to do that. You got to be excited about it. If you're not excited about it, no one will be. And always someone's going to hate it. So you've already got that going in the door. It's hard. You got to point it out. That's what YouTube's good at. Again, I'm not here to say everybody should start a YouTube channel, but I love the way it allows me to point out what I'm doing. For the first time, I had an audience. Hi guys. I had an audience who would give me feedback, and I could say, look at this music. It's different, very different than when I was putting out music to whomever. Now, I'm putting out music to a very specific person, the person that clicks this button. There's a target, there's an audience, and I care about what they think. And I want them to like my tunes, and at the same time, I can upload a video going, check out these cool tunes. Here's how I did it. You know what I'm saying? I can go, see what I did there. Take that away today. It's very important. All right, money, back to money. So then, fine, Whitey, how do you make money? So how do I make money? Let's talk about that. There are a couple ways that I make money, and there are traditional ways of making money. We're getting to the end here. I'm trying to rush things. You got music sales, performance, and residuals. That is the biggest way to make money still to this day, although it's going to be quickly taken over by streaming. These are the big three. But the thing is, this used to be all you need, because they used to be able to DRM block music in a compact disc. You weren't able to download things when I was in your seat. You were just starting to be able to do that. MP3s were a thing, barely, and there was even a CD store downtown called Earshot where you could go burn your own CDs, essentially make your own mixtapes. Because the industry had DRM blocked. They had proven that they could make reliable money from selling CDs, because the only way you could get a song on release day is to go get the CD. Someone at least had to do it for it to start being on a torrent site. There was no streaming yet. It was inconvenient. But that's how they locked down the market. But that alone doesn't work anymore. Don't get stuck there. There are plenty of ways that I make money. These are all the ways I make money. And some of these are weird. Look at that. Instrument brokerage. What is that? That's buying rare instruments and selling them at a markup. I do that. It's fun. I get to play a lot of cool instruments that way. Tour management, new media like YouTube, audio engineering. It just goes on. Private events. That's supposed to be a joke. I do private events like weddings and stuff. Renting out space. I even rent out space to people that want to come film. I have my basement that I let people turn into whatever space they want, because I basically turn it into a black box. And I rent out my space every once in a while, like at least once a month. It's do nothing work. I get to edit my videos while there's actors and stuff in the other room paying me money for doing nothing. It's great. So be creative with it. This all has to do with music in some way, shape, or form is what I'm saying. You don't have to abandon music to make money, which is what I did. That's why I was sad. That's why I drank. I abandoned music to make money. But you don't have to. Now I'm doing it right. And I want you to look at these, circle in red, because those are all going to require you to learn technology, which is something you should be doing now. Because it's going to change by the time next year rolls around, and the time the next year rolls around after that, and it's going to continue to change. Technology has absolutely revolutionized the music industry since I was your age. Twice. First it was the iPod with ripping CDs, that totally screwed everybody, and then it was streaming, that totally screwed everybody, and the next one is due right around the corner, so keep your ears and eyes open and get on the computer and learn something, because it's not going away. Technology's going nowhere, it's here to stay. This is how I make money. But here's the thing, that right now, in my career still isn't quite enough. That's me last night. That's what I do on Thursday and Friday, wash dishes. I'm actually going to get my car out of this top and I'm going to go wash some more dishes. Because that's the thing about this is I am dedicated to becoming somebody with music. I'm dedicated to learning on my own now how to make money with music, and I wish I had more preparation for this. That's all I'm saying. It's a message, it's a harbinger, it's a warning. That's all. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying that there are opportunities for you to avoid this, hopefully. It's not a fun job. It's not a bad job. It's work. The outcome is money. And I plug the holes in my budget with that money. And slowly but surely, I'm getting to a point where I can leave that behind. Money pays the bills, art does not.
Money pays the bills, art does not.
Thank you very much.
I pay this in installments with, like, real money, USD. Absolutely. Looks like it's. The bill I'm holding is. What does that mean? Are you serious? I'm gonna cry. That's beautiful. Why? Is it just y'all did that like nationwide or just for me or what? Oh my God, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. Okay. Okay, thank you. You just made my day. You just made my goddamn day. Thank you so much. No, you've done enough. Thank you very much.
That representative was on point. Did you hear that comeback? Yeah. I guess you did pay with exposure. So sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky and the world throws you a slow pitch. But it doesn't happen all the time. So think about how you're going to make money. Don't obsess over it, but think about it. Give it some thought. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of ways that are more efficient than others. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, my name's Gardner. If you want to follow me on YouTube, it's youtube.com/GARDNSOUND. Thank you very much for having me. If you have any questions, I'll answer any questions you have. It looks like the time right now is 11:13, so I'm actually killing it. Any questions? I guess I got my points across. All right.
Well, I have one.
Katie has a question.
Sorry. That's right.
I'm gonna sit over here. I did this last time. I'm gonna sit over here.
So you pointed out, all things you sort of had to learn the hard way. Glad you did it. You wouldn't change so much of it, the whole sort of discipline. But like, let's say that you could. Let's say you said, okay, well, so add something to our curriculum here at our school, or add something, beyond today's talk. What would you, without, and I guess I'm going to say without changing what else or diluting what else you're learning, because you did, thanks to our promptings, admit that was also,
Yeah.
important. So, what would you add?
So let me make it clear that there's nothing I would remove from the curriculum. Okay, you guys are getting an amazing curriculum here. The opportunity you have here is gigantic. Let me tell you that right now. And she didn't pay me to say that either. So it's not a matter of simply just adding something to it. I think a better thing to do would be to have just more awareness, like an awareness class, or maybe even like on the level of music appreciation class, but for industry trends We have one actually at the University of South Carolina that was implemented my senior year. I didn't get to take it, unfortunately, called music entrepreneurship, which is exactly what I'm doing. And basically it's how, that's what it is. It's how to make money with music. They're finally starting to implement that at the university level, but I could see the governor's schools seriously pulling that off. That would be the minimum. I would also strongly recommend, and I apologize if this is already something I don't know about, but a music technology class, like a formalized class that people have to sit in for at least a semester, just so they know what MIDI is. MIDI is a big deal. Raise your hand if you know what MIDI is or know how it works. All right, yeah. I mean, raise your hand if you know what OSC signal is or how that language works. Yeah, jitter, Maxim SP. Like, these are really important things that run shows, performances, that are, you know, things outside of the classical music realm, which, as we've seen, that is 99% of music.
Is high school, you think, is the right time, and I'm just, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be introduced, and then that, would that change your college path, do you think, had you been more?
No, I was dead set on being a composer. I wanted to be Schubert so bad. No, I wouldn't have changed that. I would have still done comp, but I might have focused a little bit more on because, I mean, and don't take this the wrong way, but if you got your mind set on something, I can't tell you not to do it. I can't tell you not to do it. I wouldn't listen, you know? Yeah. Maybe if I'm energetic enough, you'll listen to me. I'm losing energy though. Yeah.
How often do you use the instrument that you were here for in your music?
My bass?
Yeah.
All the time. All the time. In some facet. So the cool thing about the upright bass is that it's tuned in fourths, and so is the guitar. So I was able to really easily branch out the guitar because they're both from the same ancestral instrument family, the gamba. So that's neat. So I was able to, so when I say I play my instrument every day, I count guitar as that. I would say now I'm as proficient on the guitar, both classical and modern, that I am with the bass. So yeah, every day. Because it's that, you can't get away from the scales, you can't get away from arpeggios, you can't get away from knowing how chords work. There are artists that I know personally who don't know anything about theory, and frankly their music is bland and uninteresting. So, there you go. There are certain patterns that our brains appreciate. It's for some reason just scientifically drilled in here. And all theory really is a study of what we like already. And wouldn't you want to know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to start building a house without knowing how structural integrity works? You want to start building a house without taking any geometry courses? You know what I'm saying? You can't do music justice without knowing theory, because you're going to be ignoring all of the old, I can get up my soapbox about this for hours. You're going to ignore all of the previous music. How are you going to study? How am I going to study Sibelius if I don't know how to read it? There's stuff you learn there. He's a great musician, you outside.
So I'm in creative writing, so I can't take the music theory class here. So how would you suggest learning music theory by yourself?
Excellent question. You can either find a tutor. There are tons of them out there. I myself offer lessons, or you can use an online course that's more self-driven. There's some free ones out there. My favorite is musictheory.net. Not only is that a good utility for learning the basics, but it also has oral skills and ear training options, completely free. Check that out. But yeah, if anyone's interested in lessons, I'll plug myself here. I offer that. It's not expensive. I can work with you on a price too. We do sliding scale. So,
How hard did you find it to criticize yourself in your work compared to someone else criticizing your work?
Yeah. Do you have time to answer this one? Man,
Because from like an example would be, let's say if I create something and no one's around me, like I'm out there by myself, I can just easily be able to be like, all right, it's done, or be like, okay, no one tell me that's bad. So
do you find that you tear yourself down more, or do you find that you are more okay with things than other people?
Wait, say that again?
Do you tear your own art down more often by yourself, or do you promote yourself more? How do you feel about yourself in the vacuum? This is a music therapy question. I'm sorry, my wife would be proud
I
of
feel
it.
like, well, what I do is, like, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I used to be like, all right, I worked so hard on it, so it's out there. I
Yeah.
need to make it better. But now, I feel like even like the greatest ones out there, they have to realize that everything they do is not always going to be good.
Comparative, and it's hard. Okay, let me answer that for you. Remember when I had the slide up there about look what I did? See what I did here? Making somebody appreciate your art is really difficult. It really is. That's harder than making the art itself, making somebody else understand it. Because from your perspective, you did all the work, you put in the hours, you learned how to use the freaking drum rack in Ableton. You learned how all the knobs work. It is hours of work. Everybody who knows audio production is hours of work. For a 3-minute song, that someone's gonna go, or on Spotify. That's it. That's the only reaction you get. Is it downvote or an upvote? It's pretty harsh. But here's the thing. Think about that. That's all the feedback you get. So how much value can you really put in that, right? You gotta put value in your own time. So are you happy with the outcome? I find that a year removed from writing something, there are things I would change. So what I do, I get the project file back up, I redo it, I publish that. I say, hey, it's better now because I'm better now. And I publish that. I'm never afraid to go back and edit something because it's an ongoing process. I'm never gonna stop learning. I'm never gonna stop being dissatisfied with my older skills because I'm constantly trying to learn something new. That's the idea, right? You practice, you record something, practice again, you record something. It's just the way it is. So, yeah.
Did you ever doubt yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I doubt myself right now. Yeah, no, all the time. So I get a little personal here. I deal with a specific type of depression called self-loathing, and it's basically the idea that I hate myself, and it's not present all the time. I've gotten really good with the help of therapy. I'm a huge advocate for people with mental illness getting assistance and getting help. Your brain is an organ just like any other bone, any other organ, any other tissue in your body. Chemical imbalances can cause it to be sick. So, for a period of time, I was really sick. I coped with that through different means. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, for sure. I'm better now though. You just gotta tell that voice to shut up. I'm doing things, getting in the way, trying to do stuff here. But yeah, there's days when I wake up and go, I don't feel like doing something, but you have to do it. You see that, it's in the video, it's part of the project. That was the idea, to capture that. So,
Do you have any, what are your influences right now? Let's say in like pop music or someone that's out there that's, let's say, verified. Do you have any?
yeah.
What are your
Yeah. So 2 people that I'm like listening to almost constantly right now. I listen to a lot of pop. I also listen to a lot of classical. I listen to Sibelius a lot. I love Sibelius. If you don't know what hypermeter is, he has this thing that he does called hypermeter, and he does it better than anybody else. And basically what he does is he takes this phrase and he stretches it out over the course of like 12 measures. Sometimes it is multi-metric. Yeah, he'll stretch it out over a long period of time, and then he'll take that same melody and time stretch it down using notation to a shorter fragment, and then a shorter fragment, and then a shorter fragment, and he layers them. It's like this gradient of just a wall of sound that somehow fits together, but it doesn't fit together, and it's beautiful. And so I'm trying to learn how that works. I'm also listening to Rich Chiga. You ever heard of that guy?
Yes.
Yeah, 88 Rising. They're releasing just fire after fire after fire track.
Right.
88 Rising is killing it. I'm always on their stuff, so there you go. Big time difference in sonic things there, but they're both music. It's both music. There's things to learn from both. And one of them is making a lot more money than the other. So I'm studying that. How does that happen?
Gardner, thank you so much. So we'll keep in touch with you.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah, subscribe. Maybe I'll be back sometime.
Subscribe.